So I can't do anything without visuals. Like for me, just reading an email, which is just an email, is not enough.
No.
So yeah, so it's the symbol thing again, which is what we're going to talk about today. And I'd like to just give you guys a heads up. I had dental implant surgery on this side of my face on Monday, and it is so puffy. I don't think you can't probably see as much as I can. I look weird. I look like a budgie, but I'm just telling you because it's actually affecting my speech a bit. So I'm going to have to, keep hydrated and all the rest of it. But in case I look very different, I feel very different. It's like, whoa, they took out a whopping great root. And, it's the beginning of a 9-month implant process. So just saying. So I want to make sure that everybody can hear. Can you hear me okay? And then I also just want to see whether Renee is coming on. She may or may not, I'm not sure. Ah, Shazi is there. Hello. Lovely to connect with you and some people that I know and some people I don't know. So I'd like to open this conversation really as we just start, just saying, hey, hi, I'm Sally Griffin, aka Millionaire Yogi, and I help visionaries become world-changing influencers. And I have 2 areas that I work in consistently. One is very spiritual, and when we think about symbols coming from that perspective, it would be all the way from finding your power animal, Roman symbols of coding in the world, prophetic symbols, that kind of thing. And it can be all the way back into those kind of symbols. But then working with that all the way into the business proposition, really what I'm talking about is imprinting your brand with your symbols so that you become so familiar to your audience that they're picking it up consistently throughout everything that you're doing. So it's symbols which are brand imprinting that we're really focusing on. But some of the way we want to get those symbols for you is actually hearkening back to, some of the practices that I use to dig deep with people, which is more the meditation and the spiritual side of things. And today, what I hope that we'll achieve is that you'll have 3 symbols by the end of it that are super potent for you. And you could see, and we can talk about it, how they can resonate throughout all your messaging. Is that okay with you? Great. Sylvia's laughing. I know. See, I told you it works when you say, is that okay with you? Everybody goes, yeah. So I'd like to open it up a little bit and just say, what were your preconceptions about what it meant to get your symbols? Would anybody like to just say what that means to you? Because it can, I know for one person who spoke to me, they're like, whoa, that sounds really like out there. But just let me know what you felt when I was saying this is going to be a session on getting your symbols.
Larissa here. I personally absolutely love the out there aspect of imprinting the messaging, because we're not just communicating through words and pictures. Symbols are very powerful. So I'm excited. Great. I'm all about that.
Oh, great. Really good to hear that. Thanks for that. And where are you?
I'm in Toronto.
Oh, you're in Toronto. Oh, my old hood. I used to live there for 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Does anyone else want to talk to me about what it means to them when you hear, talking about symbols in your either your business or your life, but your personal symbols? Yeah, go for it, Sylvia.
Symbols are very empowering for me. They give me security, or it's a confirmation. I like symbols on like cards. They were always in my life. Pulling some cards. Yeah. Or whatever symbols. Even in the marriage, there's always a symbol exchanging something, or so.
Yeah,
it's a deeper meaning.
Yeah, it's a very, very ancient lineage of a path that we have for understanding things. Mm-hmm. And I really like the way you're connecting in with ritual, ceremony, symbols, stages of life, initiations, because they all would have had symbols, all of them. In fact, our whole culture is symbolic across the world.
Yeah.
Semiotics is the study of symbols, for instance. And I don't know if you guys have ever read The Name of the Rose by Umberto Eco, but very famous writer, professor of semiotics. And he was an Italian professor. And he basically, he wrote a book, which was a thriller. And there's been several variations of this on TV. And it's all about, it is on one level, it's a thriller. On another level, it's a medieval history. And so the thriller takes place in a very specific time of arbitration and problems that were going on with the church. And basically they were, then he uses this level of semiotics and symbols. And what you see that happens within, there's at least 3 readings within the book. One level is literally a thriller, a whodunit. Another level is the history of this period when there were like heresy, or the, you know, the non-correct way of being at the time in the church was a hair's breadth from some other way of being. And there's all of that history that he puts into it that's fascinating. And then there's another level, which is just symbolic. Like you would probably be able to get the whodunit and know who's who and know who are the heretics and who aren't the heretics just purely through symbols. And that's how it can work. That's a shortening of the story in a way, because those people who have access to that level, the 3rd level, they're reading things, they can see things that other people won't. You get that? And it's a great example of somebody who worked with symbols at a very deep level. And this is where we want to get you to, if you understand. You could be doing, your first level would just be who you are, your product, and all of that kind of thing. Second level might be mission statement. And mission statement goes a little bit deep, but not that deep. It's a bit like a product mission statement. You know, it could be a pancake mix, but really we believe in these pancakes, you know, that kind of thing. Still not going down to the depths of it. But if you went one level deeper, you might find that these are, you know, all tied in with St. Patrick's Day, no, Pancake Day, and there's a level of ritual to it, and it's connected in with a very deep level of what seems inane, but it's a pancake mix, right? And they can work back into that like it's the right time of year to be buying into this pancake mix. And that is literally how the symbols can start to work. And that's where we want to get you. Like, where are you getting gotten, if you understand what I mean? How deep are you going with your storytelling to be able to capture people's imagination and to capture people who are interested in working with you? And it's a whole range of things. Some people will just pick up literally on the symbol level, and they'll want to speak to you without knowing fully why, because you're just attracting on a very, very heart-based, innate level. So just a couple of things I want to do. Renee, I have made you co-host, and hello and good morning. Just want to know if you
Hello and good morning.
Hello, good morning, and good afternoon over here.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure that you know you can operate things. At a certain point, I will also invite, about 40 minutes into the call, Ashwarya is coming on, who's the art director who I work with. And she will be talking about a different way of being with symbols. But I want to do a technique with you guys to get your symbols. So that's the main thing. And to repeat for those people who have just arrived, I had dental surgery on Monday. My face is really puffy. My throat is really crunchy. So, you know, I'm drinking lots of water, but I'm a bit, you know. So if I look weird, I think I look weird. You're right, I do look weird, okay? So I'd like to take it down to another level before we go into working with this. And it would be interesting to hear if you guys has anyone had any experience of working with brand imprinting? So are there symbols that you've already worked with? And would somebody like to say something about that?
I had, for my website, chosen a lot of triangles. And that was like in 2016 when I didn't really understand the symbols yet, but I was very drawn to triangles at that point.
Do you know why?
I didn't at the time, but now I'm drawn to it because it's masculine and feminine energy and it's a stable structure. So now I'm using triangles in my healing and in my coaching. So
right. And
I invite people to use it.
So when you first felt attracted to triangles, like it was coming in, was that a key moment of a new phase of your life, business, or something?
It was. I was pregnant with my son. So I was creating a lot. Like, yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And thank you so much for that, because I think truly I notice new symbols when I'm going through new phases of life. Does anyone resonate with that? That's, yeah, Sylvia does. I can see some I can see and some I can't because you're hidden and you're on the phone and it's morning and you're wearing your pajamas. But so Sylvia, you resonate with that.
Yes. The first, in 2002, I bought a giraffe, a very, not really giraffe looking like giraffe, a very artistic, a giraffe, yeah.
Yeah.
A wooden one, and it was just a designer piece in a furniture shop. We were shopping there, and so that was I liked it. And since then, if people don't really know what to get me, they buy a giraffe, any kind. I have I don't know how many now, 40 probably.
Wow.
All types of metal, wood, they come from Peru or whatever, very unique ones. So.
And you're now known as that person who you would receive giraffes.
Yeah, well, I didn't intend to collect them, but I still get them. And what I found out later was, I think Rosenberg is his name. They're in this, the wolf and the giraffe, they dance together. It's the non-violent communication.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, 3 years later, I found that out.
Yes.
And still, that's something is very important in my life.
Amazing.
Non-violent communication.
Of course, it's so.
And I was at that time. I was in telecom. I was a L2 wife to a telecom manager. So communication was always something.
Yeah. And I really resonate with that as well, because I think symbols crop up in your life as a reminder that you are stepping into a new realm, a new power phase of your life. Take notice. When you look all the way back to the shamanic connection to animals, or even the Roman connection of oracles, they would look for portents or omens, if you like, to decide whether or not to do war, to have war, to not do war, to to progress down this path or not down that path. Everything was portents and symbols, and we have a really rich history of that, which is, when you take it into the Freudian level, it's the dream symbology. You can see that with all the psychoanalytic work that came later. Then you can see it with the ancient, sibyls who were doing prophecy in Rome and Greece. So you've got symbols cropping up all over the place in terms of being either wildly out there, innately, a way of us tapping into some kind of other knowledge. We can also have it as quite a respected course of action, where you see it with a psychologist. They can look into it and determine things about you. And then you can see it when it becomes branding And then it's like you're picking up on a long history of it. But for you, it may have just been something that is resonating very strongly because you're going through a certain transition. And it feels important to you. You don't even know why. And then when you look them up later, suddenly there's another meaning there. I know, for instance, that giraffes in kind of animal wisdom are all about being able to see from a very high perspective, and they have the ability to foresee things. And so that's what the giraffe comes up as a symbol. So there's something about you, Sylvia, who others recognize that that there's something that you're able to see. And actually your business is way ahead of it's ancient, but it's way ahead of its time. It's timely, you know. And so for everybody, the way that you can work with symbols is a very deep, rich level of messaging. And I would say that on a personal level, I find symbols when I'm walking and I'm out in nature, I'm always amazed when some of my kind of power animals show up, because I just think, ooh, yes, on the right track, that kind of thing. Now that is my life, and it may not be for you, but there will be other things that I'm sure that you would resonate with, that you suddenly recognize, like it's important for you to have a symbol at certain phases of your life. Sylvia mentioned marriage, for instance, and whether or not you're into marriage in a sort of courthouse or church or in a field or whatever, there are symbols around that which are so ancient. Ring is one, binding, love. You know, in the more sort of shamanic traditions, they bind their hands, they do hand fasting. That was all the way through Celtic times, all through ancient Europe. The slaves took it over. So slave marriages were tying their hands together and jumping the broom. They're ancient symbols, but they actually came from Europe and were blended in with the passage of the very ugly slave trade. And so you can see how they move, but then that was an acceptable way of marriage. When in America, most people were going to church, slaves were doing it different, you know? And symbols like that can refer to, oh, there's an important time in your life that you're being alerted to, like something is going on for you that you need to step into. Maybe it's your next wisdom age or your next initiation of life phase, you know. But what we want to do today is, Shazia is saying, let's have a look. Far-reaching, tall, yes, absolutely, about the giraffe, yeah. And it is like coding. From Shazia, she's saying for her it's numbers. You always see 11? Oh, I always see 11, 11, always. And got really into looking at the numerology as well, and looking at 2020, and 2020 is the year of clear vision, and it's a very feminine year. So we've got the year of 13 moons as well. For me, that just got me into action. That it got me into a certain level of action, which was, I want to do things from a feminine perspective this year. And it was just really like, oh yeah, the symbols are up, so let's do it. So with that as a little bit of a broad opening, oh, Sue is saying you see 1111 and now recently 444. Yeah. And I did hear somebody else talk about this just before we go into our working, that, you know, in many indigenous cultures where they'll talk about, you know, a power spirit animal coming to a person, or for instance, indigenous American native culture was always, what's the symbol that's happening when the baby's being born? And that would be then their name. So we've got sitting bull and, you know, white feather and all of that. That's because literally when Sitting Bull was born, the main thing that his parents saw at that moment was a bull sitting down, right? And he received the name from that. So that's how powerful they can be, that they go all the way through literally to the naming of somebody, of what's going on in your environment. So we can see that if you start to interweave these symbols into your in your life and your business, that you're having a different conversation than the average business person, if you like. And I want to pull it all the way through to this level of stamping your brand with every level of symbolism. So you're having a very rich, textured conversation, whether it be verbally or written in your emails, your messaging, whether you start to use these symbols. And ultimately, where I'm going with it is into visionary ads. And that is creating ads for people, not about the product, but about their vision and who they really are. And it's the first level of intro that you would get to somebody. So in the previous call, I showed you mine for my Millionaire Yogi, you know, for my coaching brand. And what you notice is it's riddled with symbols. Like it's a symbolic statement. Yes, I'm talking about some of the business stuff I've done, but it's way more than that. And I think what you will find is that if you can imagine that there are thousands of financial services, like just thousands, or thousands of fitness trainers, right? Thousands of them. How are you going to determine and distinguish which one is for you? You know, and when you see everything looking the same and there's no real way of telling, then the ingredient that's missing is trust. And the ingredient of trust is the thing, this is the connection piece that you can establish so deeply in your business and in your way of being, in your life, your communication, so that it's like, I would describe a lighthouse as it casts its light round. You are the beam. You're beaming out this level. It's not just a verbal level. It's got an intensity of an energetic field that they finally get that that's you. That's when you're a frequency or a channel, and that these symbols will make it much stronger for you to find your tribe, to find your audience. So with that in mind, I'd like to take you on a little journey. And as usual, it's a bit of a shut your eyes and get relaxed moment. I can see somebody's driving. Adrian, don't shut your eyes and don't relax. Well, relax, but just let it go in, because you can watch it another time. And really, to get the benefit of this kind of working, also, if you need to quickly run to the loo, please do so. This would be a good time to do that. Not when you're driving. And then let's just get really relaxed. So take a deep breath in and exhale through your mouth. And another one of those. Deep breath in and exhale. And another one of those. Deep breath in and exhale. And allow your body to become very soft and relaxed, sitting back with your legs uncrossed and your palms relaxed, either on your knee facing upwards. And as you breathe deeply, knowing this time is for you, and that you're going to spend all of this moment as if you are really here now, then you will go very deep, very fast. And you allow yourself to start to breathe through every cell in your body. As you're breathing, start to imagine that rather than the breath just moving into your lungs, is now moving into every cell of your body. And as the fresh energy comes in of the day, it also releases anything that is no longer wanted. So any doubt, any disappointment, any upset, any illness. And you breathe in again, sending it to an area that you don't normally think about. So it could be the back of your neck, the back of the heart. We don't focus on our backs. We focus on our fronts, just our eyes staring out in this dimension in front. So take some of the energy to the back of the body. Start to breathe into the back of the knees. And with every breath that you take, you're releasing more of this stuck energy. And then allow yourself to just find yourself in the most beautiful place in nature. Reach for the things that you most love. So if it's a forest, go to a forest. If it's the ocean, go to the ocean. Allow yourself to really immerse yourself in this nature as a way of attuning yourself to exactly what it is that you need at this time. Look around in a 360-degree pan and allow yourself to see what it's like to be surrounded by deep, beautiful, connected nature. And then as you're breathing into every cell in your body, you're breathing in with this nature vibe. You're breathing in the frequency of the very element that attunes you to your truth. Take another deep breath in and exhale. And in the distance, you hear some water. And the water is just like a lulling, beautiful sound. And you feel compelled to stand up and follow the water. So you walk through your nature scene. And as you look down at the earth, you realize that your feet are bare and that you're walking along an ancient pathway. This ancient pathway starts to weave its way down through the land at a slow, steady decline. And you feel with every step that you take, your body is more and more relaxed. And presently you find yourself by the side of a beautiful waterfall. You heard the sounds long before you even saw it, but it is just magical. It's appearing out of what seems the most beautiful nature spot that you could possibly imagine. Flowers growing out of the sides of the rocks. This beautiful turquoise water just pouring itself all down into this pond. And as you see yourself in the reflection rippling as you look over the edge, you feel that you want to just step into this beautiful pool. And you do so. It is the perfect temperature. And you can feel this childlike way of being when the water is splashing down on your head and you are swimming in this beautiful place all by yourself in the perfect temperature. And this water energy that you're breathing in with every cell of your body, you lay back and allow the water to hold your body up, and you're bobbing around. And as you look up into the sky, you really connect with what you're here to do on this planet. It could be in the sense of a task that you really feel is important right now. It could be much deeper than that, that you feel that you've come here for a purpose. And as you're lying back in this beautiful, magical pool of water, and you connect to this level of truth of who you are, and you know that if you said in your heart, I am, and you fill in that blank, a word will arise. And allow yourself to feel the truth of it, the truth of who you are, truly, not for other people, just for yourself. And as you're laying back in the water and you've got this word in your mind, I'd like you to look up into the sky above and just allow it to emerge as a symbol. Don't overcomplicate it, just allow this image to appear. So it's the connection of a level of truth that you have about yourself. And then it's the connection of that truth becoming a symbol. And allow it to appear in front of you. And then remember. So coming back to the side of the pool, you roll over and you swim to the side of the pool and pull yourself out. There is a beautiful robe waiting for you. And notice the color. You dry yourself off. You put on this amazing robe. It fits perfectly. And you feel drawn to take another pathway out of there. It's not the same one that you took on the route in. This path, as you start to walk along, its ancientness takes you deeper and deeper into foliage. You're going very deep into either a kind of jungly rainforest, or it could be more of a cooler forest. Determine which feels better and follow whichever is more appealing. And as you continue to move into this level of foliage, have some thoughts about where you are on your path right now. Start to think about, do you feel stable in your life? Do you feel secure? Are you living in the right kind of home for you? Are you happy in the country that you live in? And all of this is feeding into the environment around you that you're deeply, deeply connecting with Earth. For you, the Earth is another truth. It's the kind of truth of where you are truly happy. And as you go deeper and deeper into the forest or the jungle, you find yourself in this beautiful clearing. And at the very center of this clearing, there is what seems to be an ancient wooden altar. It has candles on it. And you are invited into this sacred place by a guardian. The guardian is a huge coyote mother. She is gigantic, and her compassion and love just radiates around you, so you feel very safe and protected. And she tells you that not only do you have a truth of who you are and what you came to be, but there's also a truth of your structure. What makes you happy? Is it traveling like a nomad? Is it being grounded and rooted in a beautiful mansion? Is it an apartment in a city? And she asks you to think about where you feel truly, truly rooted. Is it nature? And find yourself standing in front of this beautiful altar. And she invites you to look at your symbol of earth. Look down at the altar, and right in the center, there is something there for you. Allow yourself to pick it up and feel the weight of this symbol. Allow yourself to turn it over in your hands many times, feeling the complete uniqueness of this thing. And then ask yourself, what does this mean to you? What does this symbol from the earth altar mean to you? You are allowed to take this symbol with you. This one is in reality, whereas the other one, the first one you had, was in the sky and the air, and will always be there. This one in earth is pickable, upable. So pick it up, and the coyote mother tells you that it's time to leave this place and blesses you on your path and on your journey. And as you leave this place carrying now this object that you've been given, this object of earth, you see yet another pathway. And this one starts to take you very rapidly upwards, as if you're going up a large hill. As you continue to walk naturally, instinctively up this hill, you also feel drawn to looking around the circumstances. And as you turn your head, you see the views on different sides. Notice the kind of landscape you're in. Allow yourself to not just be looking forward, but all around in all directions, and enjoying the ride, enjoying the journey. And as you continue to move upwards, but at a very steady and relaxed pace, you find that you come out onto a glorious top of a mountain plateau. And you can see in all directions. You open your arms as wide as you possibly can. And you make a very bold statement about what you are here to do this year. This year, 2020, you make a very bold statement looking over this vast view with your arms wide. This sentence is an affirmative statement in the now, as if you have already done, achieved, been this thing. It is the beingness that you're looking at. So, for example, if you are attracted to bringing peace to the planet, you are opening your arms wide and saying, I am peace. These affirmative statements are part of your reason to be here. But they're also action statements that this is an important stage for you now, recognizing where you are on the path, that 2020 has now become a message of action, of urgency, of there is something that you are here to do. Allow that sentence to inhabit your heart. Who are you being? And if you could take it one step further, if you are being that, then what would you be doing this year? What would you be called into action to do? Is there a small step or a big step that you feel drawn to? And if so, what would that symbol be? What would the symbol be of what you are here to do this year? As you look out over this vast expanse of this beautiful landscape, you feel a beam of sun as the sun comes up over the horizon and shines a direct ray into your heart. And you feel this amazing essence of beingness, of the beingness that you are taking on as your transition. Allow yourself to feel what that would be as a symbol. If you were being something, who would you be? And see it as a clear symbol in front of you. And then as if you're drawing your arms together again, draw that symbol straight into your heart. And breathe into it. Take 3 deep, deep breaths and draw the energy of that symbol of who you are being all the way into your heart essence. And now clearly remember your three symbols. The one from when you were lying on your back, looking up from the waterfall, from water. The one that was in the deep forest clearing on the altar. And the one here. And as best you can, retrieve this information now, pull it into your being, into your consciousness. And we're going to come back into the space by rubbing your hands together, keeping your eyes shut. Place your hands over your closed eyes, breathe in and exhale. And again, rub, 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 rub. Waking you up, placing your hands over your closed eyes, breathing in and exhale. And one more of those. Deep, deep breathing. Rub your hands together, place them over your closed eyes, and then you can rub your temples, and you are imprinting them into your essence. So it's not just waking up, it's also allowing these symbols to go in. Feel them as you rub your hair, the back of your neck, front of your throat, and allow yourself to come back into the space. You can take a big deep breath, stretch your arms. And so you may feel a little woozy, but as best you can, I'd reach for a piece of paper and write down these three energetic symbols now, so that you're really clear on the best that you can remember them. And I'd like to ask somebody to just, would they mind saying what they got? And this will reference for everybody, but would somebody be brave enough to tell us your, Sylvia, go for it.
The first thing was started out as a cloud, but the cloud became then an eye and eyelashes. The eye had eyelashes. And the second one was I am free, and then a book appeared, you know, like the stacks of books, not just one, stacks of books. That was the last one. And the other one was I had to draw it. I don't know what it is. It looks like this, like a cup kind of thing with something shiny in there. So I don't know. I made a drawing.
And that was the one of who you were being.
The being was I'm free. And then
I'm free.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like free to write a book or something. That's something. And the second, well, the first one, you know, when it was like the word was funny. And then looking up at the sky, this, you know, remembered me of my childhood because I did it a lot.
Yeah.
And so there were clouds, and one cloud became then more purplish and had an eye, a darker eye, so in it with a little eyelashes. And yeah, and the altar, there was, I don't know what it is really. Is this a cup or something? There was something, you know, yeah, like handshake, you know, like
Yeah.
shapes.
Yeah, I
Something
do.
like this, and like not a ball, it was something glowing kind of in there.
So almost like energy, holding energy.
Yeah, yeah. So I made a drawing. So I
Well,
don't know.
all of you will have very deep levels of information that you're getting at this point, but some will be just really clear, like the eye is really the clear level of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the holding energy, which you've got as well, you're all about holding babies, right?
Yeah, something like. Mm-hmm.
I know what your business is because I work with you. So the holding piece.
Yes. Cup, it could be like, you know, on the, you know, a cup or something, or holding hands or something.
Yes. And you could even imagine that, like when you did that, it's very different than that of holding, right? Which is like a beer or a glass of wine. This is, you could even imagine it as a branding symbol already.
It's a, yeah, that's,
you know, and you could even have the baby within it, because Sylvia is a baby holder, right? And this is the level that I want you to work with what has come through. We did some very deep work where I'm aligning you with elementals, elemental imagery, so that you are able to just be free and creative and be able to get the stuff without having to overthink it, because we spend all our lives overthinking everything. But you can see that if you were able to determine those three symbols, one of who you are being this year, that would be something that you're moving towards. And what would that one be for you? Like, just remind me, which one is that? The one of who you're being this year, 2020.
Well, that was the I am free, and then a book, you know, like a stack of books where, you know,
right,
writing it down or something. Yeah.
Well, and could very well be the year for you to write a book.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That was an idea.
And that's an action step that you are being given quite a clear directive on.
I'm free to write a book or something.
Yes, and you have mentioned that, haven't you?
Yeah.
That you want to write a handbook this year.
Yeah.
And so all of you, you'd work your way through on some, you can do some journaling on this, some quite deep personal work yourself to see what is coming through for you. But there would have been something calling you to be something this year. That one is the impermanent one in a way. It's like there are moments in our lives when we need to do something, and it's to express ourselves. Otherwise, we don't feel expressed, right? And so that one is the one I want you to resonate with in terms of like, what action would you take to do that? The one that is the earth is a very stable image that you should have of something that is truly, it keeps you grounded on the planet. It's like who you really are. And the one from the water, where you're looking up into the air, is a kind of more mystical one. That would be a soul journey one, like what you're really here to do on a sort of soul essence level. I'm just looking what Laura has said. Delta, crystal green, blue orb, earth, clarion trumpet, orange trumpet flower, heralding. Amazing. So Laura, with that, heralding, that to me is like something about making an announcement. And I don't know what you're up to, but is there something that would be an important time for you in this year to step up, announce, speaking engagement? I don't know, something like that. Does that resonate with you? Because heralding is like a very da-da, like it's, you know, and you've even got an orange trumpet flower, which is a little bit like a trumpet heralding something for you. It's an important time, I would say. And so how we then weave these things into the work that I'm doing now, which is very much visionary ads. And I want to introduce you as well to my cohort worker, Ashwari. Where are you? There you are. You can unmute. Can you hear? Oh, you are. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
So I'll just introduce Ashwari. We work very much in our company, the Visionaries, and I often have this role of ruffling, you know, swirling the waters to get the deepest depths out. And Ashwari will then take this information and at a later stage is working it into a symbolic script. So you might want to say a little bit about that, Ashwari, about how we come up with scenes, because it's kind of, yeah.
So definitely. So thank you, Sally. ruffles up the symbols like how you've been doing in this call, and then I help put them visually into a video to really communicate visually those symbols, and then Kareem will capture them in a cinematography. So that's how we work. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about, you know, there might be a piece before you do an advert. There is tons of support with messaging and getting you comfortable with when we do adverts. But the bit before, if you wanted to make online content, or you wanted to just be in front of the camera and truly be authentic and be yourself, but you just feel that energy of when you get in front of the camera, you somehow feel a bit resistant or feel a bit blocked and are unable to be your true self, we still want to keep in touch with you and connect with you and really support you through that. So I will be running a Zoom training that will go out in about, you know, the emails will go out, and it will be in about a month's time. And it's really about exploring what it is that truly holds us back from expressing how we want to be on camera. You know, there is, a camera is really like powerful. It shows the world how you want to be seen. And the Visionaries is all about getting your vision out there in such an authentic way. And even if you feel you're not ready for an advert, there is still work that we can support you with. So I just wanted to come on here and let you all know about that. And the Zoom training will all be about how to get that immediate connection, how to feel really powerful in your presence in front of the camera, and just to have that freedom to be who you truly are with your vision. So
thank you. Yeah, and we just wanted to sort of extend this because it's unusual work that we're doing. The far end of it ends up being a visionary ad, which I was showing you examples of last week. There's another realm, which is Aishwarya talking about the step that you take when you know, a little bit that I was speaking to Brian last week. He said he had a Jaguar. And that piece would almost be like his persona on the screen, that when it's like game on, he needs to be that Jaguar. And there's a sophistication there, there's an elegance, there's a mysterious, and when he's game on, that's him showing up as his true character. And so we use symbols in different ways that, you know, that way as well. To be seen, how are you? So when I do speaking gigs, I am always in character, and it's not Sally Griffin, it's my symbol, you know, like I inhabit my symbol of beingness, and then I have the power to deliver the message that I want to. So there's many, many levels of it. And I think the other thing we want to say is we are coming to America. We are coming to LA on the 4th of April. And some of you know that anyway, but if you don't, and you've never been to some of the kind of work that I do, it's a real beautiful mix of experiences, so that by the end of it, you will walk away with a deeper level of your storytelling, working beneath the brand. You'll have your brand imprinted with your symbols throughout, and you'd walk away with that. And then you, if you wanted to take it further, you could go and work in a direction that Aishwarya does, which is all about being in front of the camera, how to do much better Zoom calls, for instance, that you may be if you're a coach. And then the far extension of that is we run retreats where you can come and actually film your visionary ad. So there's a lot of different layers to it. And it's work that I'm so proud of. Like I just, you know, I did film school, like I said, 500 years ago, and coming all the way back to working in this medium that to me is much richer than just words, than just, you know, speaking at people. It's the textures, the tones, the deep resonance that you get with working on a symbolic level and really finding out who you are. So I know that in the ad we showed you of Pam, did we show that? No, we didn't actually. But Pam is somebody who I work with, and we did an ad for her. And she was trying to express that most of her work, which is products, she works on maternity gowns, which are front opening in hospitals. That's relatively unheard of. You know, women go and give birth by being tied into things from behind. So she's revolutionary in the hospital system. And her symbols were all about, she kept saying the heartland of America, you know, she's family oriented, they're handmade. And so we ended up using the symbol of hearts throughout her ad. And if you can imagine that, there's even a symbol of the coffee being poured at a cafe, but it's a heart on it. So every single level of your message is steeped into the body of an ad like that. And that's what we're up for teaching you, really. So I was going to say that if any of you are in LA, do come. Renee, who is on here right now, if you are interested in that, we are inviting people, and there are some really reasonable ways into this workshop. It's a whole day, a lot of different experts. There's Mark and Jenny, who are messaging experts, so they're strictly words. I'm strictly deep, and you know, you get me. Aishwarya is doing a piece on expression. There's a soul branding expert, James Sean Blakely, coming, who's talking about branding your brand at soul level. And by the end of the day, you walk away with just a new realm of being. And so if you're interested in that, please put LA on the feed and we'll send you a direct invite. The other thing is, if you're even interested in starting to look at Zoom calls and how you could improve being in front of the camera and working on this level, put something about that too, and we can feed this back to you and let you know when that course starts. And then if you're interested in an ad, just put visionary ad, and we will give you the information. Often you may feel like you're not totally ready, but we give you stages towards the readiness of it, if you understand what I mean. And we'd love to keep in touch with you. So we will announce when Aishwarya does that other Zoom call, just all around expression and being on Zoom, we'll send you the link for that. That will happen in about a month in April. Great time to get expressed when the spring is more sprung. But for now, it's just come to our event, keep in touch. We love working at this level with everybody. And you know, are there any questions from anybody at all that we can help you with right now? As we draw to the close, but we have not closed this call. It's great to really connect in with you guys and see how you resonate with symbols, that's for sure. I can just feel there's a deep, resonating kind of good silence going on. And I hope it really gives you some extra texture to your branding as well. Those things that you got today are your truths. And it's like the wilder you can be with your truths, the more effective you are with your branding. Literally. It's not be shy and step back. It's be really strong with it. And so literally with Brian, if I was coaching him a little bit more, he may see the replay. I don't think he's on right now. It would be, I would get him into his Jaguar energy for certain pieces of work that he does. And if we were filming a segment, there would be a section entirely devoted to that kind of persona for him. You know, you can imagine him as a very seductive actor, you know, with his black outfit and all of that. And that's the way that you can step into a whole nother realm of being, that you don't just stay one-dimensional, that you have these symbols that you can inhabit, embody. So for now, oh, Carrie, you love this. Thank you. I'm really, really, really pleased that you love this. And Candace, it's so great to see you here as well. And you said that was revolutionary. Love that word. I resonate with being a revolutionary. yeah, Kyle will follow up with the Zoom call and the visionary ad, and anyone else who wants any help in this kind of way of being seen. And you can tell us what your business is as well, it would help. But for now, if anybody wants to say anything, or if not, it's going to be over and out from London. And just wish you a fantastic, deep, rich, resonating day, and start to let this work through you. And Renee will be picking up anybody else who you know, wants to have connection with us. And come to LA if you're there. If anybody lives there, come. It's going to be so much fun. And see you all later. Love you, leave you. Oh, good. Candace is coming to LA. Well, I'm so excited, I have to say, because of all the places in America I've been, there's something about Santa Monica that is just, I just love it there. I really do. So it feels like my home turf. That's one of my kind of earth power spots, if you like. So can't wait. And Melissa, hey, LA. Oh, I can't believe it. Yay. It'll be really nice. So come and meet us. Really come and say hello to us. You know, it'd be great to meet you. And that is over and out from us. Have a beautiful day, everybody. And we'll send you another email later about Ashwarya's event in April. Sending you so much love. Namaste. Have a great day.